Validate. Don't get me wrong. In fact, he played very well against Validate. But going into this one, it's a whole different beast. SYF Gaming, ladies and gentlemen, are in your losers bracket finals here. Hardpoint Breakout here to start things off, and I'm excited for this one. Goldie, who do you want to kick off with?
Look, starting off, I think the real player to watch, especially on the Tainted Mind side, would either be Nimble or Setzy. Because Nimble, he sort of stepped up to the plate. He was looking a bit shaky in practice a couple of days ago, but now going into it, he's provided very consistent results. Whereas, you know, someone like Setzy has to step it up a bit coming into the roster, being a substitute player. Whereas on the SYF side, I'd probably look to someone like Eminence or Chileans. Because Chileans, he's had a couple of rough performances along the way today, but when he steps up, he steps up.
No, I'd have to agree with you there. He's shown us time and time again in his whole career as a Call of Duty player that he will step it up big time, and he's going to need to do that here against a team like Tainted Minds. We watched this this hardpoint just before, and Tainted Minds, you know, they got smashed on it, and it was not a pretty sight. Obviously, Chiefs there, they got all the momentum. SYF right now, they are looking to do the same. Just going to this one, Nimble with a two-piece there. It's a typical Nimble day when he grabs a two-piece in the lower first hardpoint here. But 14 seconds remaining. We were talking about this before. It's rotation heavy. If you look on your mini-map there, you've got already number 8, which is damage setting up in the hardpoint, and 6 and 5, which are Nimble and Zeus. Zeus and Setzy are going to be setting up, watching those flanks and watching the cuts, not allowing the SYF players to spawn up in behind. So here we go. Zeus with the two-piece in the middle of the map allows the Tainted Mind squads to completely shut down any sort of SYF gaming force to come forward into this cell block hardpoint.
Yep, Zeus was one of those players in the previous series who didn't exactly have the best performance. Sure, he was doing all right, but he really wasn't stepping up like they needed when they got to the later stage. So to see this coming straight out the bat for him, it's extremely good. So this could be good signs for Tainted Minds going into this bracket finals, trying to, possibly close this one out and get a bit more preparation for going into that grand final if they do make it that far. But SYF, they're going to be quick to actually take the cell block hard point. Tainted Minds, they're not even in range at the moment. The rotations just set out. The only player even close. Zeus eventually gets himself on for the remainder of the scrap time, but SYF, they're going to be quick to rotate. Not even a single player there left to try and gain up that scrap time. So 4 seconds left. Pretty much going to be even as we head on to this next hill, going out towards the graveyard here. It's already going to be SYF early onto it. And look at Buckerback's score. He's going 8-2.
Buckerback starting very, very strongly today, and he needs to do so to allow his teammates room to move. And we've already got a score streak coming down. That's going to be I don't think they got a kill. It was from Nimble, and it got damage. So a good team kill coming there from Nimble. Obviously not what you want in his situation, but he does get one to follow that up and make up for it. But what I did see on the mini-map is as much as SYF were able to break the hold that Tainted Minds wanted there, Tainted Minds still have the preferred spawn to his hardpoint. The good thing about SYF where they are spawning, as much as it isn't preferred, and as much as it allows the Tainted Minds to go back in, and Setzy trying to do work, he manages to get control there, but SYF, they've got the control pretty much already for the next hardpoint. As soon as I say that, though, I look at the mini-map again, and Tainted Minds, they've rotated around. They've got control for commissary hardpoints. So here in the rotation, it's going to be SYF who are going to have to battle through all 4 players if they want to make their way there. And you can see here Setzy, he's setting up and waiting for them to push him.
Yeah, very well rotated from Tainted Minds. They just reset themselves rather than try to gain the remainder of the scrap time off the graveyard. They rotated early, and that's already gotten themselves back into it. So now we're going to see an excellent defense so far. SYF aren't really quick to get in for the time being, have to move their way in, coordinate themselves as a team. We are going to see Fate even attempts to push up through mid, is unable to do anything whatsoever. So now we're going to see Chileans and Buckerback looking to push their way in, along with Eminence here, as they do take the aim duels. Kills will favour them for the time being, but they're not on the hard point. Need to make a push now. Eminence will be the first to get on the site. Fate with a two-piece, that's what they need. And SYF, they retake this commissary hard point.
They've done a good job of it too, I'd have to agree with you there, but it's only 15 seconds of scrap time that they're going to be able to get. So, Tainted Minds, they're thinking about the next one. They're going to the middle of the map, top middle or central rooftop, however you want to describe it. It's going to be the main focus for the next 60 seconds as we rotate here. So, right now, Tainted Minds, he's just really chilling on top. He's on a 3 kill streak. Eminence trying to catch him up with a 2. Just holding down lower, allowing him else to come in. But that grenade there from Fate is going to do all the damage it possibly could and find a kill. SYF, they're pushing in. They've been able to break this one out, but Setsi, he's just sneaking around. He's a little sneaky beaver, but in minutes, he's not going to allow it. He says, no, sorry, we don't need your type here, as the rest of Tainted Minds have to battle around to be able to get back into this one. Usually that middle hard point is a lot more scrappy than it has been this time. SYF, they've been able to get quite a few kills on the board around that area, and they're locking down the spawns pretty much. So, Tainted Minds, they're going to push in, losing a couple of players. Eminence now, the only one really within the shot of this hard point. The rotations, though, they need to be in effect right now. And I don't know what these SYF players are doing, but they're giving up that bottom side of the map potential for that rotation to the cell block hard point. And there we go, 2 seconds. Now it's up to the Tainted Minds squad. All four of them are pushing up right now. He gets a shoot in the back there. Zeus finding that kill, slides inside and tries to play in the corner. Well, his teammate actually, Nimble, he'll come out and grab that one. And that's going to be a complete break and, you know, regaining that preferred spawns for Tainted Minds. SYF, that haven't been able to hold on to hard points that well.
Yeah, well, Tainted Minds, they get themselves early on. SYF, they struggle to get themselves back in. And then once the kills start favouring Tainted Minds, SYF are left on that back foot trying to get the remainder of the scrap time, which they are able to do, but it's not exactly an ideal position to be in. So we are going to see kills. Going to be favouring Tainted Minds for the time being. Chillians was able to get one in the mix. Eminence looking to push in with his teammate there. Running his way around, trying to get on towards Cell Block. Eminence with a beautiful opening kill. Needs to get more, however. 15 seconds left on Cell Block. And it will favour SYF for the time being. Looking to pull themselves ahead in this one. Very even matchup so far. An excellent kill there coming in as we do see rotations come in. Which side will come out on top here? We're going to have to see, as it's been such a close one so far. Milboss, who do you think is the player to look out for here?
Right now I'm looking at Nimble to really kick it up a notch. Eminence as well. He's started getting a lot of kills for his team on a 4-kill streak right now, as you can see him on his screen. You're going to find one there, but he'll get absolutely gunned by Zeus. That was insane reaction speed from him. And SYF, they were able to break in. You know, Damage was holding down, trying to allow his teammates to spawn in behind him, but then he got shut down by Fate. Fate then falls to Zeus, I believe it was, and that's going to be back in control. Tainted Minds right now, they're trying to find these few last kills. Chillian not going to be able to do that one, so there we go. Zeus and Setsi, they're doing as much as they can. Setsi now last alive in the hard point. He fires the 2-piece there, perfect. That will allow Tainted Minds to just claw back at this lead. But you've got to be thinking now, 15 seconds remaining. It's a big map. Make your way over to Commissary. So they're sending 2 players around the showers area. And we'll see Nimbles, he's one of them. His teammate and Zeus is going to be with him. So they push their way. He gets shot in the back though. The only one who might be able to make a difference is Damage and get these spawns here. He has to be careful. He's right behind Fate. So close to coming in contact with him. Fate, he's just chilling around, watching his back. Brian Senni will get, oh, they FTL, they're out of danger, but Damage, he comes around the corner and finishes that kill. So perfect play from Tainted Minds. And even that was including Setsi there. A nice team play to be able to 2v1 that play in the back of Fate. There we go, Tainted Minds, they're set up very nicely. They've got the spawns, they've got control over that area of the map, and SYF, they need to find their way back in. They're about to lose the lead.
Yeah, and losing that FTL early on is not going to be good for this SYF side. Fate ideally would have liked to hang on to that and carry that over to a time where it's a bit more crucial, because he was the only player there left to hold. He tried to delay time, but it was to no avail. He got taken down pretty quickly by Damage. So now it's been back and forth. SYF get themselves onto Commissary, trying to get the remainder of the scrap time. And when you're in such a tight matchup like this, that remaining scrap time, like the last 10 seconds or so, can be absolutely crucial for either team. But still, you want to be getting onto the next hard point early enough to the point where you can retake it and have an impact, because you don't want a team like Tainted Minds to gain complete control of a hill and then absolutely just sweep it.
Setsi there, he does have his payload available. I'm not quite sure which one that is. However, he also is fully streaked out and ready to go. So if Tainted Minds get in a very stressful situation, he'll be able to use those to his advantage, and he's stepping up in this one, being, you know, the 3rd top killer in the equal position, one of the top fraggers, slayers in his team. And that FTL jump is going to be what he has available. Meanwhile, SYF, they've been able to get control and still maintain this lead. I'm not quite sure if they did lose it in the end there, but they definitely have it right now. And these Trinity Rockets are potentially going to do the work for him. We'll see if he can't find a kill with the side point. Doesn't look like it there. Zeus, though, he does get a big 2-piece to be able to break into this hard point and make his way around to get the spawn. So there we go. Tainted Minds are set up nicely for this next hill. We're going back to the cell block. And the Scarab might be able to get some good information.
Yeah, and talking about the previous series, I mentioned that Zeus didn't have exactly the impact he would have liked, and going into this, he's going 25 and 22, putting out a lot of kills for his team, and that's what's allowing Tainted Minds to really stay in this one. Like, Zeus has been the one clearing out these hard points. He's been the one getting onto the hill and helping out his team, and he's been doing so excellently. So a very close scoreline right now. It is even. Tainted Minds are favoured going into it, you'd expect, but SYF, they've got a certain amount of unpredictability. They're a constant team, but it's really hard to predict who's going to take this, especially with Tainted Minds having a sub. But for now, we are going to see someone be very scrappy as Tainted Minds just narrowly are going to find the lead here. Zeus doing even more damage in a 3 streak, eventually gets shut down, but still doing a lot of work. Tainted Minds, they will find the lead out towards cell block. It looks like it will be SYF on for the early rotations.
Damage, he's on a 6 kill streak right now, just roaming around. It's his playground. He doesn't really care what's going on. He might get flanked here if he's not too careful, but he is holding the rest of his hard point, so the SYF players will have to be careful that he can come from behind here. Fate is pushing up. Damage. Finds one more kill, can't get another, so a 7 kill streak for him should have him set up. Almost about to get his payload, and also will have some streaks there. Eminence and Co, though, they need to step up a little bit here. The active camera coming out, he has to be late for that play, but he burns it there. Goes for the shot, teammates find that kill. Tainted Minds take the win there. 250 to 1, I believe that was about 192. I'm not quite sure, but either which way, it was, you know, quite close until the end there. Tainted Minds, they just completely were able to start out fragging.
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that they sort of broke off from the pack there, because SYF, they were looking strong at one point in time. It was around 190, 190, and all of a sudden, Tainted Minds, they come out of nowhere. You see Zeus and Damage doing a lot of work. Damage is on a 6 kill streak at one point. Zeus, he was sitting there up towards the 30s kills-wise, and he was just doing a lot of work for his team. So those two players combining together is really what pulled Tainted Minds over the line there.
No, I'd have to agree with you. I could not agree with you more there. Zeus definitely stepped it up, and that's what we needed to see. But on top of that, Setsi was playing very well. He was constantly getting 2 pieces. He went on that 5 kill streak at one point. And, you know, plays like that out of your sub are what you need to really stay on top of it. SYF, they didn't really seem to have the coordination that Tainted Minds did, and so they were constantly losing control of those spawns. Tainted Minds, their break game was incredible in that hard point. Honestly, I don't know where it came from, but they did it very, very well, and that means that we'll be heading over towards a throwback S&D this time. So, an interesting map for these guys. We haven't really seen too much of it since the first round, and it was Tainted Minds who took it in their game, and I believe Chiefs took it in theirs. So, or was it SYF? That was the match we casted. SYF Chiefs. Was it SYF who took the S&D? It was too. They went one up. So both these teams won that map before. It'll be interesting to see, and they were pretty close for the Chiefs game. I'm not too sure how they'll go about it this time. It will be a difficult one to call. I mean, if you were going to put a number on it or a name to it to the win there, who would you give it to?
Look, at this point, I'm really on the fence. I would have expected a lot more out of SYF from what they've played today. They've been going through the losers bracket. They've managed to get themselves to the losers bracket final, but still, I'd expect with the LAN experience, you would have seen a lot more coming out of them. So going into this one, I'm going to have to narrowly favour Tainted Minds, but I could not put a score on it. Well,
I'd have to agree with you. There's definitely a lot up in the air, but as we load up into this one, we, of course, want to thank our sponsors. We have Predator, Acer, of course, HyperX, Kingston, Plantronics, and a whole bunch more setting us up for this event. Netgear, to name one more, as you know, this would not be possible without them. And of course, the players, to all the organizations who sent teams here, of course, thank you to you for providing us with the content and the entertaining Call of Duty we've watched today here. But let's head into this one. SYF against Tainted Minds, Search and Destroy on Throwback. Eminence and Co, they are going to be the ones carrying the bomb to start things off here on the aggressive ground. And one player, Zeus, he's going to run right in, but find the bullets of Eminence. He's going to take him straight to the face. And that is going to be first blood going to Eminence.
Yeah, I was surprised there that Tainted Minds went for such an early push. You'd expect them to sit back and wait, you know, for the SYF side to come to them, considering they are on the offense. But still, Zeus, he rushes in there and gets taken down far too early on. Not a good start. The bomb will go down out towards the A site. Really, Tainted Minds, they've spread out at the moment, and they don't really have much of a window to get back in here, as we do see SYF have a very strong hold. Setsi will try and open things up with his teammate there, trying to push their way in, but no damage has been done. Eventually, Setsi finds a kill, and now this is what Tainted need. They even back out that player advantage, but still, they don't have much time to get themselves back in here. 20 seconds off the clock, what can they do? There's Fate to find one. Nimble is going to fall. Stefty tries to run his way around and get one, eventually will, but still, is it going to be enough? Down to a 1v1, not much time left, only 10 seconds he needs to get the defuse. Spots out, Buckaback Setsi, will he be able to get the defuse? I don't think he has time.
Ran out of time there, just enough. It was like midway through falling down. It was about to land, but he ran out of time there. So, unfortunately, it will be SYF taking the round there for Tainted Minds. Not what they wanted, but definitely nice to see that Setsi, you know, he won that 1v2 nonetheless. He definitely, with the pressure that was on him with the short amount of time left, was able to show up when he needed to, and that is what you want out of your substitute. He's definitely showing, at least in this series so far, that he's stepped up his game in that regards and he's playing his own game. 3-0, definitely a good start from him. You know, 3 kill streak as well, which helps. As we say that, Zeus, he'll find first blood but get traded out. Damage will follow up with another one, and Nimble will get the bomb down here. So, a good start from Tainted Minds. Make that a third kill, leaving Chilean in a 1v3, or 1v2 I should say.
Yeah, Chileans, he's got a lot to do here. Has to find Nimble and Damage, and 30 seconds left, so he's got the time to work with, but has to make his way around and try and go for that defuse. Both players sitting out towards the bike path plant there, but eventually he will fall. So 1-1, the scoreline's evened up, and I think we're going to be in for a long series.
You know what, I'd hope so, because if not, then it would be weird to see one of these teams as a clear dominant over the other one. Tainted Minds, they tend to compete quite closely with some of the other top Australian teams. No matter what, whether they win or lose, and even if it's a 3-0, they seem to usually have very close scorelines. So we'll go into this one once again. Eminence, your dedicated demolitions expert, is going to be running this one down straight to the A-bomb site. We go for an early plant for one save, testing him. That's going to be Nimble finding that kill. I don't know how, because those lasers were going all over the place. And here we go. It's a 2v3 in favor of SYF. A good kill from Chilean is stepping up when he needs to, and now he's got the bomb. He can potentially get it down, and Nimble can try and find that kill, but he's going to get tagged up. Needs to back off. Can't allow to get hurt anymore, but that slide just not working in his favor. Damage now in a 1v2. Fate and Eminence, but the bomb's not down, so he's got 50 seconds to work with just as of yet. He's gone to the wrong bomb site, however. He's noticed that, and now going to rotate around. So he gets the first kill there on Buckaback, reducing it to a 1v1. And this is what we know Damage to be, one of the best S&D players in our region. He just knows. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and now it's going to be Damage left in a 1v1 against Fate. The bomb is down towards the A site, and there's a lot of work to do. Fate has to get in there and defend that bomb, whereas Damage, he's going to be sat there. He's going 4-on-1 at the moment, so a good performance from him so far. We do eventually see Fate go and check that bomb. He was expecting a ninja defuse, but still, Damage trying to wrap his way around, and surely Fate doesn't leave it. He's got to know there's not much time left. He's cleared most of the angles. He has to know where he's coming from. Will spot him out. Will he be able to take the gunfight? No, but still, that will be the round still going in favor of SYF.
Seems like they're getting to these very awkward sort of 1v1 situations where they run out of time and aren't able to get to the defuse there for Tainted Minds. So SYF, they're going to be able to get that one and bring the scoreline to a 2-1 deficit for Tainted Minds. So a good showing from them so far. We're heading into the round number 4 here. Fate very close to his payload, as well as Setsi, who went on that initial 3-kill streak. Very nicely done by him to be where he's at. He runs that FTL jump, and he has got it with the first blood. Zeus going down as a trade, and Fate, he finds a 2v2 of his own, so now it's a 2v2. Here we go, Nimble. He's trying to do some work, misses his shots. Shaky shots, and SYF go up 3-1.
Nimble, you can't be missing shots like that. He was in a prime position to take down 2 players, wasn't even able to take down one, tried to switch targets, thinking he got one, but in fact, he got none. So the round will be favoring SYF, and they've done very well. They're up 3-1 at this point in time. I was thinking Tainted Minds would go into it, taking this one pretty convincingly, just because of the fact that SYF, they're a bit shaky on their S&D. Sure, they got one of their S&Ds against the Chiefs side, but after that, it was all looking downhill from them. So they've reset their mindset, and they've come into this one looking a lot stronger than what they've done. But look at Setsi Damage doing a lot of work so far. Buckaback is there to find the first kill there. Bomb still not down. Tainted Minds at a 1-man deficit, have to push their way back in, but SYF for now, they do have good bomb site control.
Fate, he's the one with the FTL jump available. Setsi, I don't believe he used his, so he'll still have his going to the next round, but the bomb has been planted today. And Nimble finding that kill definitely levels up the pegging here. 3 players apiece. Zeus can't find that one. Fate, he's just outgunning pretty much everyone. Eminence as well, doing the same damage now in a 1v3. Once again, he nearly did it last time. Let's see if he can try and get this going for himself. He's got 20 seconds to work with, though. So a very short amount of time. Squads players all over. Gets tagged up left, right, and center. Actually, there's no tags up center, but, you know, left and right. It's good enough.
I'm really not sure what's going on with Tainted here. Like, on their hard point, they managed to take it. Do you think that they're not able to do as well on their S&D due to the fact that they've got a substitute and they can't get that flow working where they can go get consistent trades and just work it as a full squad? Is that what you reckon the problem is?
It's honestly, it has to be. It's one of those things that I feel like Search and Destroy being such a team play heavy game mode, you need to be able to have that, and without you know, one of your key players, that's not going to work out. But as soon as I say that, a nice little strategy coming out, sending Nimble on the flank is going to catch these SYF players off guard. And here we go. Tainted Minds, they're just going to find that final kill and finally get a second round on the board here. So nicely done by them to get back into this one a little bit. They lost 3 unanswered rounds there. Finally doing some work here. Getting the final kill is going to be Setzi. Nicely done by him here. 4-2 the scoreline. SYF, they're looking definitely very good on their defense. That offense there was a little bit shaky, but, sorry, rather other way around, I should say, doing very well on their offense, and the defense was a little bit shaky there. Now we look at their payloads. We've got Fate with his available as well. Damage did use his payload earlier on. I wasn't sure quite what it was. Just as of yet, if a couple of players have spotted each other out, but they're not committing to anything. SYF there. We're going to be rotating by the looks of things around to B. So you see player 1, Bakabek, he's going to be the one who's, you know, leading the charge. He's the one who's the scout. And by getting the kill onto Chilean, Tainted Minds have been able to say, well, all right, we now know that it's not going to be at A because there's no more players. Of course, they get the notification that the bomb's planted at B. And they're going to send 3 players up around Granny. Oh, Bakabek, he finds damage here. Fate, he's watching the flank. Bakabek gets the second. He might get caught from behind if he's not too careful there. Setzi, he's just sneaking around, going up top ticket, trying to find something to work with here. I'm not sure he's going to do so. Meanwhile, Fate might just get the biggest COD timing of his life. He's literally next to Zeus. Look how, you don't see it, finally. This is going to be the weirdest kill cam I think I've ever seen.
That was...
It was like, it was on his screen. I must have thought it was a teammate. You can see the feet in the top left corner. You can see the shadow there. He must not have reacted to it in time. A little bit awkward for Zeus though, because he got the worst COD timing of his career either. Or it's just as much. So both players really, you know, just getting COD timinged. It is what it is. But we will go 5-2 in favor of SYF. This could be a blowout Search and Destroy here. Chilean though, he's going to utilize his overdrive as far as I'm aware and get ahead of the game. Meanwhile, Nimble, he's almost back at his FTL. But if they lose here, it won't be able to come into effect. Fate, he's still got his to work with. And the first blood's going to go in favor of the man himself. So a good start from SYF. They're going to be able to get 2 kills now. And that leaves Nimble and Zeus, the duo, in a 2v4 situation. Reactive camo comes out, armor comes out, and wow, well, Fate, he just got a triple kill. That's it, game over. SYF, they even things out, 1 apiece. 6-2. Search and Destroy throwback from them.
Yeah, very well played from SYF, coordinating themselves as a team. Of course, Tainted Minds, you got to give Setzi credit. He's stepping into B. He's got big shoes to fill here, replacing Dens for this event, and he's putting in the work. He's getting those kills, but the problem is there's just not that team flow that you'd expect from the Tainted Minds side, and instead you got SYF taking the lead in a much more structured game mode than something such as Hardpoint.
Well, I feel like, of course, Hardpoint is probably the most Slay-heavy focused maps. The teamwork, you know, it needs to be there. But in general, most pro players can do it sort of on autopilot. You know, you always have to send 1 player to be able to get the spawns for rotations. You need to be able to know when to rotate, when to not rotate, when to, you know, go for the scrap time, when to not bother about it. You know, there's always these sorts of things that you have to worry about. Meanwhile, in Search and Destroy, you have to worry about a whole number of different things. The strategy, where the players are on the map, or where the opposition is. Holding down a lane or a bomb site is not as easy as it looks, especially on throwback. It can be very difficult to defend that A bomb site. Obviously, that seems to be the bomb site of choice for most teams on their offensive round. But in this case, it just wasn't really working out for Tainted Minds in any regards. And, you know, we said this before, Search and Destroy has to be their weakest game mode. They barely ever plant the bomb. And that's not saying that they need to plant the bomb to win the rounds, but they're not necessarily even having amazing, you know, KDs on Search and Destroy either. They're not specifically absolutely destroying everyone else, but obviously, once again, without having Dens here, the man who puts up so many numbers on the board in terms of kills, it's going to be harder to do so. But we will be heading now into a precinct uplink. We're revisiting the map from the first series of the day, and we'll see where that gets these teams. So this one's going to be an interesting one because I think that, you know, the raw slaying power of this Tainted Minds team, they definitely have it in themselves to be able to, you know, basically take it out as easily as they did against Chiefs. But then again, this SYF roster have a lot of potential in this game mode. We've seen them play, and some of these players have been some of the best uplink players in our region at points. So I definitely believe that if given the opportunity, SYF will be able to make the most of it.
Yeah, you look at it that way, but earlier on in Precinct Uplink, they struggled heavily against the Chiefs side. We saw them barely put on any performance at all until it was far too late. So going into this one, they're going to have to fix up the mistakes that they had. And against a team like Tainted, it's going to be difficult. They are, of course, Tainted have that substitute, but still, they're a force to be reckoned with. It's not like they can be completely counted out with it. So I think SYF need to look at what happened between that series and realize that they need to be on the offense more, because that's really where they lacked against that Chiefs side. They were constantly in the back lines. They could never get themselves forward. And when they did, they spent far too long hanging around. But then again, SYF, they did fix up those mistakes going up against Validate. So I think going into Precinct Uplink this time, we're going to see something completely different than the first series.
Well, that's what I was meaning about, you know, their potential. Of course, yeah, they did struggle on this map against Chiefs. However, you know, it does come with time. A game like Uplink, which is, once again, quite a heavy team focus to be able to make the, you know, coordinated pushes. I think it's important to note that SYF, they do have a lot of history, and as a squad, of course, and it will take time to get back to where they were, back to the top form, but against a team that have that substitute, it shouldn't be as difficult as a full solid roster to be able to go up against. I think they'll be able to put up, you know, a reasonably good offense, hopefully. And one thing that I did notice, you know, on that uplink game against the Chiefs is that they did have very good defense. They had a couple of slip-ups, of course, it happens, but for the most part, they played very, very good defense.
Yeah, of course, but when you are on the defense, eventually, like, if you're in the defense for the majority of the game, there's bound to be areas where a team can slip through. So,
of course,
as long as SYF, as long as they can get onto the offense more often than what they did against Chiefs, I think it's going to be a close matchup. We're going to have to see as we get into this third map here. Will be one apiece. Of course, Tainted Minds took out the hardpoint. SYF moving in took out the S&D. So going on to Uplink, it's going to be huge for both sides. Of course, we will be seeing a map fall nonetheless, but Setsi moves in with the early kills, and they have to run this out. That was a very quick two-pointer from Tainted Minds, clearing out the SYF defense.
And that's what I'm talking about. Their raw slaying power seems to be very, very influential in this sort of game mode. So they're able to shut down those players who are in the back spawns. Damage now. He needs to wait for his teammates to be able to respawn here. Can he get the 2 points? Just gets them in there in the portal. Just a nice play by Damage. Very good uplink scored there. And Tainted Minds, a very hot start here, 4-0.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane. SYF, they're unable to even get back to defend now because Tainted Minds, they've been so quick. Really, they've given them no opportunity to even relax for 1 second. The pressure's on already. Tainted Minds having a very good uplink so far. We do see that Flank come into play, but the reactive armor looks like it was already popped for damage, I believe. But still, Chileans moves in with that two-piece. What is happening, SYF? 6-0?
Wow. Tainted Minds, I mean, finally SYF were able to gain some map control here, but, you know, they had good defense in that game against Chiefs, but here it's been quite abysmal. They haven't been able to really touch the drone, and Tainted Minds, they've been crawling all over this SYF roster right now. Chilean, who's on a 4-kill streak, finally gets shut down there. You know, some good play from him, but it's not enough when you can't get the drone up enough the map and follow it up. You know, they've obviously thrown it towards the Tainted Minds portal, but they're not able to find those kills. What can they do with that? That drone's just going to get reset, which it has done, and now the Tainted Minds players are able to respawn and get set up once again to defend any sort of oncoming push.
Yeah, well, you were saying that SYF, they weren't able to do much on the defense going into this map. The problem is they can't even get onto the defense. Tainted Minds are shutting down before they can even get back towards their portal. So really, Excellent play from TM so far. They've been running it forward consistently. Every time they cleared a wave, they don't allow them to get back in. They have a player hanging back, just waiting to clear things out. Even if they can just hold off the players for a couple seconds, then it's huge for them. SYF, they've done nothing so far. Sure, they've got the drone a couple times, but they've made no offensive pushes up until this point in time. Buckebeck attempts to do damage, isn't able to do so. Zeus will take him down here. So very shaky start from SYF so far. Need to step it up.
With the minimap right now, Eminence and CoD, they've only got one player on the defense, so if the player who's near the pool, that is going to be Setzy. He turns around, finds his kill, not able to do so, but his teammate follows up with that Zeus. He's going to be able to pull out that drone and make its way up towards Ticket here. If he can find his skill here on Fate, it'll be huge, and he does in fact. Now he allows his teammates to come and back him up, but this drone going to pick it up before it resets, because that could be deadly for them. They do just that. They're going to throw it out, but Zeus gets taken down from behind. So here we go, Setzy. He helps out with Eminence falling, and now it's going to be Fate and Buckebeck trying to push up towards the drone. They finally get Setzy, and they're back to, somewhere near where they were defensively in that last one. But right now, it's still not enough for them to be able to get some points on the board. They are on the less favoured side, but I still feel like they should have done a bit more, or at least played a stronger defense.
Yeah, well, the thing is, this is exactly what happened to SYF when they played against Chiefs. The only thing is, Tainted Minds, they brought out what Chiefs did, but on an even higher level than what we saw them bring out. So it's interesting to see how this has happened. It seems like SYF, they struggle on towards the uplink, and it's interesting because only a month or so ago, this side managed to 3-0 Tainted Minds and pretty much absolutely destroy them on a Frost uplink. So going into Precinct, they've had no impact up until this point in time, only putting a 1-pointer on the board, and it's really not enough, especially going towards this half-time phase. So they need to step it up now. A 1-pointer is a good start, but still so much more for them to do.
Well, they're going to be going on to the preferred side next half, so hopefully that gives them a little bit of confidence going into it. But you often see a lot of one-point plays being thrown to them off the preferred side. Not so much the two-point plays, it is harder to get that spawn track going, but once you do, it can be so influential in the game. Meanwhile, Fate, a two-piece there, is going to be able to get the drone out as well. Maybe make a push up, but someone from TM is always there to clean up the kills. That's going to be damage, and he just continues on with his teammates coming to back up in the behind. Those SYF players, they're spawning quite close, but it's just not enough for them to be able to get this drone forward.
Eventually they do go for a push, but Zeus, he's there to shut it down with a two-piece, and that pretty much secures a 6-1 scoreline going towards this half-time mark. What a series so far. It's been so back and forth. We saw Tainted Minds take the first map, SYF take the second, Tainted Minds, they're looking to take the third at this point in time. They've really been good on their respawns for the time being. They've been playing very well. So now 6-1 at halftime. Tainted Minds doing a lot of work. Zeus, he managed to pull out a lot of kills, shutting down any form of push that this SYF side even attempted. So well played from Tainted Minds, but still a lot to do.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there because, the way that this Tainted Minds squad play, once again, very Slay heavy, and I guess that they do a lot of work with those SMGs and whatnot, and they showed it in there. Setzy, though, he's going to start things off with a death, so not what he would have wanted. And SYF, they're sort of caught in the middle of the match by a pinch from these Tainted Minds players. That's going to be, I think, Setzy once again helping out from behind, supporting Zeus, who's pushing up. He's been able to get a couple kills already to start off this round 2. To be exact, Buckebeck wants to shut that down early, so no score streaks can be gained here. But the drone goes out, and that's going to be an upload there. So now it's their lead back to number of 6, which they had beforehand.
Yep, SYF now, the pressure is on for them. They've got 4 minutes and 15 seconds to try and do some damage here. You get some points back on the board. They at least want to come in with some form of contest, because at the moment, Tainted Minds have been walking all over them going in towards this uplink. So really, it's been difficult for them so far. Eminence not putting in as much work as you usually expect from him. He's been that one player who's been pulling himself ahead so far, and really going into this one, going 8 and 18, isn't acceptable for him.
You wouldn't have thought so, being the player that it is. He's one of those players that consistently has been at the top level of the game in the scene. Damage trying to get that drone up, not able to do so. Nimble helping him out, getting some kills towards the portal of SYF here. Can't find that one there. Chilean going to get the better of him. And Chilean has been able to receive its overdrive, so that could be so influential later in the game if they can start to mount a bit of a comeback, looking at towards 5 to 7 or something like that. You pop that overdrive and get another 2 points in. Could be literally the difference between a win or a loss here. Right now, damage He gets 2 massive kills there to defend the base. Fate lasts alive for his squad, and Zeus is going to find that kill, and that's going to shut down any attempt that SYF have of trying to get ahead here. Zeus, he's pushed up in the base. He can't find the second kill after that reload there. Unfortunate in that regards. However, no one really has control over this drone. Setsi is consistently in that building. He's going to be able to throw that one out, but now they know that he's in there, and they're going to come around the corner, around that statue area, and look for a kill on towards him. They'll find him, and 2 players from this Tainted Minds team are going to be down. So here's where SYF need to capitalize. We're watching the drone carrier now. It's going to be Eminence. We'll see if he can't pop this in. 2 points. There it is. Easily done. They were able to influence the spawns, and that's what we need more of in this squad. They're only another 4 points behind, and it's not that difficult to do it. You can see on the minimap now, Tainted Minds, they don't have that many players. Back-a-back, if he goes for a 1-point play, it's just the right timing, but it bounces off the wall of the building there, and that is not what you need when you are SYF.
You certainly don't, but when SYF went for that 2-pointer, it was very well coordinated. We saw them all pushing Zeus. He got stunned, and after that, it was just up to SYF to clear things out, and they did so magnificently. That got them the 2-pointer, and now they can move on to the offense and try and do a bit more. Nimble is there with the grenade kill, follows it up, eventually traded out, but still, SYF, they need to find more. They've been forced back just a little bit. Need to push their way forward. Chileans tries to make his way forward. Can't spot anything. His teammate there will be sat out towards the corner. They eventually move up. Buckerbeck is going to have to defend him here. They do throw it forward, but still, Tainted try and shut it down. Kills favoring SYF. They're trying to get themselves back into it. Still, 1:40. Surely a 2-pointer. SYF, it's certainly looking a lot better for them.
This is what I'm talking about, the favored side. You know, you come into this one, it's so easy to influence those spawns down towards the cherry blossom, potentially even gas here, and you'll see right now, Setsi nearly got that second kill, or rather, I should say, Eminence nearly got that second kill. Too strong for him, but Chilean, he comes in strong as well himself, and this is where, you know, I'm talking about this. Well, I didn't see that happen, but apparently Tainted Minds got a 2-point play of themselves, but SYF, that won't hold them. They've still got 1 minute to go where they can potentially make a play here, and almost there, Chilean finding death there from behind. Zeus is going to get that kill, and Fate lasts alive for his squad. So now Tainted Minds, they need to recover after this one, but SYF, they were putting on that pressure. I'm looking at them, they've got time, they still have the time to get back into this one, but it's going to be difficult being so far down.
At one point, it was looking a lot better for SYF. They were connecting those kills. They got 2 2-pointers, but now they've allowed Tainted Minds to slip their way in. And with 40 seconds left, it's going to be difficult to find 5 points to even gain that lead. And with damage pushing in, this should be interesting. He's just trying to work his way around, tries to... What's he doing there? Eventually gets the 2-pointer, but he was just
what he's making sure is making sure that the spawners aren't coming up. So if he can get that, if he can get those 2 points plays, and then he can hold down where they're coming from. If he knows where they're coming from and prepare for it, then he can get that kill a lot easier than without the knowledge, and then they can potentially set up a relay. Now, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do this, but Eminence and Co. Chilean actually, he's popped his overdrive there. I don't know if that was the right move, but he does get the smackdown. One more play to deal with, can't get up there, and that was it. That is all she wrote for this uplink, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be Tainted Minds taking this one once again, relatively dominating fashion in the end. Yeah,
SYF, the only game mode that they seem to have any sort of impact on going in towards, you know, these, you could say, more highly considered teams. The only game mode, yeah, Search and Destroy. It's the only game mode that had an impact on. And even in the second Search and Destroy against Chiefs, they struggled in that. So they've got to step it up in their respawn game modes. It hasn't been good for them today. We're going to have to see going forward whether they'll be able to do any better with that. Moving on to this next hard point.
Well, we'll have to see how that carries over. I definitely have to, at this point, say Tainted Minds best. They've got the best at the moment, at least, respawn game mode out of these two teams. And I don't know if that's just because of their core 3 is enough, but Setsy's been putting up decent numbers on those game modes. It's not really been that great in the Search and Destroys because of the need for the team play, but at least the numbers that he's putting up for the respawns is what is giving them the victory, or not necessarily what's giving to them the victory, but definitely heavily contributing to the fact that Tainted Minds are getting the victories.
And that's the thing, Setsy, he has that slay power. We're seeing him come in and do some work finding those kills, and that's what Tainted Minds need going into their respawn game modes. Even if they can't have Dens to be that 4th player, as long as you've got someone who can play on the respawn game modes and do some damage and get some kills, then, you know, it's still going to look good for your side.
Well, we're going to be heading into a throwback hard point this time around. We haven't seen that for a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see how these two teams fared. Last time that they would have played it, I think SYF and Chiefs played it back in their first game, and of course Chiefs were the victors of that one, coming out in a 3-1 victory in that series. So it will be. I'm excited to see how SYF carry that over, whether or not they're going to be down about that, or if they learn from their mistakes and are able to come back hot swinging in this next map. And we'll just load it up very shortly for you guys. But of course, we have to look at how that map that we've just seen, the precinct uplink, the pre-linked upsynced, that's what I was about to say. I'm very fried right now, but you know that map, you got to think that when in that short moment that SYF looked promising, it was shutting down those spawns, those lanes, you know, the back alley, pushing out the Tainted Mines players towards the, you know, the petrol station and of course the Cherry Blossom tree, and they almost got a relay in there. They were able to get the first 2 points. Eminence and I believe one other player were there just about ready to get a kill. They weren't able to find them. They got shut down, and that eliminated any chance of more points being put on the board for SYF. But here we go. We're heading into the map number 4. It is going to be SYF and Tainted Mines. 2 maps to TM, 1 to SYF. So an interesting sort of course of events. I guess we weren't necessarily expecting it to go into this second hard point. We had really no. I had no expectations of this series. I couldn't think or begin to think what it could possibly go down to. But a 3-piece there from the SYF squad is going to allow them to get on top of the hard point and, of course, push Tainted Mines out.
Yeah, good start from SYF, and going back to that first half point, they were in there all until the last stages where they then fell apart. They allowed Tainted Mines to get onto early rotations to hold it down. SYF, they spent too long waiting for that next hard point, and that's where they fell apart. They gave Tainted Mines too much room to work with, and they can't afford to do that going into the series. SYF, they're a team who have potential on their respawn game modes. We've seen it, their first half point, they took it to a close score. In their uplink, they tried to put points on the board. It was looking good at one point in time, but still, you know, they seem to falter when they go on to respawns.
Well, here we go. Scores are tied up going on to the second hard point right now. And we're going to rotate around towards Barn. So we'll see what the setup is right now. Chilean, he's got control over the hill, but there's going to be 3 Tainted Mines players who can contest him within the next couple of seconds here. He's going to find one on the side. Can he find that kill? He does, in fact. He's going to get chased here by, I believe, Zeus. Can he get that one too? He will. And Zeus going down, even with that E-Rad, he'll get the kill, and he'll select the spawns as well. So now it's up to Tainted Mines to break back into it. But going back to that previous hard point, this is what they were so good at, breaking back into the hard point and getting back control over those spawns is probably one of their best assets against SYF.
Yep, Chileans are having a very promising start into the matches on a 5 streak. Eventually shut down, but still it's going to be beneficial for the SYF side. Tainted are going to be on to Barn for the time being. Fades there to trade out Setsi with his nade after death. So back and forth at the moment. Tainted Mines slightly favoured going on to Barn. It seems like SYF can't even get in for the retake attempt. They're struggling at this point in time. Only 10 seconds left. The best thing for them to do is go onto these rotations as they are falling behind. They need to get this next hard point completely locked down. Will they be able to do so? Nimble moves in with one, gets a second, cleaning up Tainted Mines. They wipe out SYF, and now Bike Path should be all theirs.
It should be, but you never know. SYF, they can do some miraculous things. They've got some very talented players here. They've been able to trade out a couple of kills right there, but not able to get control of the hard point. They're spread out across the map quite a bit, and it's not really handy when you need to get back onto the hard point. He's going to be the one who's actually getting the points here. Just a little bit there, but he's trying to find more kills. Not going to happen. Setsi following up with that one. And talking about Setsi, the man is currently doing very well, 8 for 5. And 1 kill streak. Zeus, he's on a 2 kill streak. And these are the things that I've seen Zeus do this weekend. He's played well. He's got multiple score streaks, and he's consistently getting 2 and 3 pieces. And this is what we need to see from him.
For now, 76-27 is the scoreline. We do see Tainted with a 50-point lead. A good start from them. Kills will be trades across the board for now. Setsi looking to do damage here, trying to hold down the remainder of that bike path. Eventually, though, damage moves in with that 2-piece. Tainted, they're on again. They're onto this next hill early once again. Baseball field going in their favor. SYF, they need to move on to these next hills so quickly because they're not really allowing themselves time to get over there, lingering too long at the previous hills, and that's why Tainted Mines have managed to pull themselves ahead here. Looking at SYF, they've had no real impact.
Well, I have to agree with you there. Tainted Mines, they're just able, not only do they get the rotations more often than not, I mean, Darren's literally sitting in the back corner of the map. but they're able to hold on to them. And if they don't, if somehow SYF get their feet in, it's at either it's not a very crucial point, or Tainted Minds, they just break it very easily. Well, watch this right now. This is guaranteed. I'll bet $50 on it. But these guys are going to be able to break it in. They get the first 2 kills. Zeus and Setsi with 2 damage with the 3rd. And there you go. They've broken the hard point. SYF, they're just not able to hold on to them.
Yep, SYF very shaky throughout these hard point maps so far. Even on their uplink, shaky respawns, not the greatest for them. They need to step it up in that department. SYF, look at the Gigabyte, he's going 3 and 14. It's not good for him, whereas Tainted Minds, they're all putting in work. Setsi even going above the rest of his teammates, so he's doing well. That slay power comes into effect, and Tainted Minds, this is allowing them to take the advantage in these respawn game modes, and for now, they're going to be on top of things. Eventually, SYF get onto train platform. It's a very scrappy hardpoint, so Tainted Minds, they'll be quick to spawn, to get in there, I should say, and SYF, they're not even going to capitalize on what little time they had at train platform. They just left it open.
Well, we will be looking towards the next rotation potentially for SYF. They need to think about early rotations, setting up with a good enough hold that they'll be able to get some decent points on the board. One player, Gigabyte, he's going to get shot in the back, I believe, almost. He's not too careful. In fact, it does happen in the end, and we'll see Tainted Minds now, pardon me, sending 2 players to rotate towards the barn hard point, but they're going to have to be in contention with Chilean and Fate. Setsi gets control here. Gigabyte finds the first one on Zeus and Chilean, and Eminence combined for some more, so there we go. Finally, it's going to be SYF able to break this one in and get control early on, but once again, I fully expect Tainted Minds to come in and get control once again by finding these one-on-one gunfights that are seemingly always going on in their favor. We'll see if they can't break in further. Gigabyte trying to stay alive, shoots through the window, not able to find one. One jumps around, gets the kill, damage with a 2-piece, and there you go. Tainted Minds, whoop-de-doo, they have once again got control and broken SYF. There's nothing that SYF have been able to do to stop it.
Really, it's no surprise at this point in time. Tainted Minds have been playing in this series absolutely brilliantly, really leaving no room for SYF to do anything. So for now, we are going to see them take control of the barn hill, going to try to gain up the remainder of that time. We do see Fate trying to move his way in to gain remainder of scrap time, which he'll be able to do, but it's not enough for SYF. They're down by 100 points at this point in time. Really not looking good for them whatsoever. Bike path will go in favor of Tainted Minds early on, getting those opening kills. Gigabyte attempts to move in, but he's unable to do so, so it's looking brilliant for the Tainted Minds squad. SYF, they're going in 1 by 1, and it's not working. Nimble, he's just cleaning up, so this is it. SYF, they need to reset themselves, come in with a clean mindset and get in there. They don't have much time to work with, but they can't afford to go in 1 by 1.
Yeah, it seems to be the way. They're just not playing as a team right now. And, you know, it happens when you are a new squad. Sometimes you don't have the experience together to be able to work as a solid unit, but these guys, should they have experienced that before, as much as it's not the same, it is still the majority of the same people. You know them, you know how they play, their tendencies, and they just not seem to be playing off those advantages of being a solid team. Meanwhile, Tainted Minds, they're just working everything around the fact that they've got their sub in Setsi, and Setsi's still holding his own. He's only 2 kills behind the next best player, who was only 1 kill behind the top 2 players on that team currently. So it's not like Setsi is at the bottom of the leaderboard, anchoring for his team. He's putting in the effort, and he's hanging with them, and he's actually assisting to the victories here. You can see right now we've got one player in, I believe that is Setsi, just chilling around the back of the map, just watching any rotations, watching any flanks, you know, doing a job that he's clearly been told to do, and the rest of the team and players are able to play their game.
If the scoreboard was blacked out at this point in time, you'd assume Gigabyte was Setsi for his team. You'd expect the player who was subbed in to be falling below the rest of his squad, but Gigabyte, he's not having much of an impact. He's only going 9 and 21 at this point in time. Still, you know, he's doing a bit of work for his team, but it's not enough. You need all players performing, especially when you're down this much of a deficit. So Tainted Minds doing a lot of work. Eventually, Fate tries to do something, but Nimble moves in quite quickly, trades across the board. Eventually, SYF get themselves on the remainder of baseball field. Eminence and Chileans finding kills, need to get more, however, as Tainted Minds are getting closer and closer, but SYF have done well to bring themselves back into it. So if they can continue this now, get on this early rotation out towards train platform, then they should be good to go. They will be the first onto it, and it's looking a lot more promising from what we initially saw.
Absolutely, they just got about 50 points in the last 60 seconds. Have been able to rack up the time, and Gigabyte finally putting a stamp on his name. He gets another kill there, finally getting shut down, but as you mentioned, Fate, a very nice performance out of him individually. 31 kills to speak of right now. Setsi still holding his own again alongside the rest of this TM squad. We've got the Centurion ready to go for damage. 2 more payloads available for Tainted Minds as they are in the lead. But SYF, they've been able to bring it back a little bit here. Not as much as they need because they're still significantly far behind. They need to get the rest of this scrap time, but it looks like Tainted Minds are going to do that. I can't imagine that SYF can really afford to let them get, 15 points when they're only a matter of points away from victory. Yeah,
SYF, like you said, they can't afford it. To get themselves in, still 4 seconds left, but it's crucial. Tainted Minds, when they're so far ahead and when they're getting closer and closer to victory here, and this is the map that they need to win out the series, SYF, they can't afford to make any mistakes. They need to get onto this early on, and Tainted Minds have already taken over Barn, so it's not looking good for them. Buckerback with that team kill won't help either. Tainted Minds get closer and closer towards victory. SYF needs to come in the retake. Eminence will be able to find one. Same with Buckerback, but Seth is there to trade things out. Nimble moves his way in. Tainted Minds are able to take the lead out towards this barn hardwood. Trying to do more here. There's a player sitting towards the side here, as it will be Buckerback. He's there to fall. Tainted Minds, they should be able to take it here. It's getting closer and closer, but SYF, they managed to get themselves back into it.
SYF, they're trying to just force this one. They're going in hard, they're getting contested, they're getting the kills on, and that's what counts. Buckerback, he's resurged, he's got 10 kills in the last maybe minute that we started highlighting him, and he is starting to heat up the scene right now. He needs one more player to contest him. That's going to be found by a teammate. The reactive armor finds the kill, turns around. Can he get the second one? There he does! Buckerback, a huge 3-piece there to continue the streak that he's already on of a whole bunch of kills in a very short amount of time, but only 10 seconds. Make that 9 until Tainted win this one. Chilean and co, they need to set this one up. They've put down the Centurion to stop any of those nades from doing any damage here, but it is up to Tainted Minds to get this one going. 241 to 198. They're about to break the 200-point mark, but here it is. Tainted Minds, they've broken it again. SYF, you need to get on this hill. You need to contest it and get them off. Tainted Minds, they're doing all they need to stay alive in this one. But Buckerback, he's got another 2-piece, and there we go. They get control once again, and they're slowly building up. But here's the tricky part. You've got 22 seconds remaining on this one. To Tainted Minds, just give it up and go for the next hard point soon enough. That might just be the case. If they can get 1 or 2 players off of this hard point, they may be able to do so. But here we go. Can they contest the damage? Only 5 seconds left here. No one's there to contest it. They're about to get it there, but no, they do find the kill. There we go. 3 points remaining for Tainted to take the win here. Chilean, he's setting up for the next hard point. He's got a teammate in Buckerback here, and you've also got Setsi trying to do some work, but it's not going to happen. 221 to 147. They're working their way up here, and it's so close. SYF, they're about to claw their way back into this one.
How have SYF been able to do so? 230 to 247. Tainted need 3 seconds on the hill. SYF, can they come back from this? Looking to push their way in. 40 seconds left on baseball field. Tainted, they need to break this immediately. Will move their way in. Eminence looking to do damage here. They can't give it up to Tainted Minds. Need to hold on for a couple more seconds. Can SYF come back? This will be absolutely insane after that. Tainted, they will take it.
Wow, what a play from them to be able to finally get back in. But SYF, you got to give it to them. That was a crazy comeback.
Absolutely insane scenes here at the CyberGamer Adelaide studio. I thought SYF were going to take it.